It's Fans Corner. Welcome to it, and thank you for making time for us. We are back in the Betway Premiership. We've just watched Sekhukhune United against Mamelodi Sundowns out at the Peter Mokaba Stadium in Polokwane, and that game ending 2-0 in favor of Mamelodi Sundowns. A game that many of us would have expected to end in a stalemate, especially if you were watching the game. Before we get into the game, if you haven't done so already, please make sure you subscribe to our channel. It's Fans Corner. It's off-air podcast rather on YouTube, and also check us out on TikTok. It's Fans Corner, and also on Facebook. It's Fans Corner. Yeah, a game of football that I think those of us who support Kaizer Chiefs or Orlando Pirates would have really been happy with the draw. And for a majority of the game, it looked like it's going to end in a draw. Sekhukhune United, I think they would have been content with the draw because I guess they've sized their battle and thought, a draw wouldn't be a bad result. And indeed, a draw would have not been a bad result for Sekhukhune United. It would have felt more like a victory for them rather than a point gained for Mamelodi Sundowns. But otherwise, Mamelodi Sundowns are a very difficult team to keep away. And we saw how difficult it became, especially towards the end of the game, with the introduction of Peter Shalulile and those two quick goals that end Mamelodi Sundowns 3 very, very important points. I think it was also important for Sundowns to win this game, not just for the league race itself, and also for stability at the team. We saw some ugly scenes in the previous game where Sundowns drew, and you can sense the tension between the coach and the supporters. Okay, I guess between the coach and the players, maybe everything is fine, but between the coach and the supporters, you can sense the tension. You saw how Cardoso celebrated that first goal in particular, and even the second goal, so much animated on the sideline when they celebrated, punching the air towards the supporters with more of a passionate face that says, I'm proving a point. There is that tension between him and some faction, perhaps I should say, of the Mamelodi Sundowns fan. It's Mamelodi Sundowns fans, and it is to be expected, man. Because if we are to be honest, just to deviate a little bit from the game, if we are to be honest, it's not the same Sundowns that we are used to. We are used to Sundowns for many seasons, walking towards the finish line, and now it looks like it's a battle between Pirates and Sundowns. Well, to a certain extent, you can also throw in Kaizer Chiefs out there or in there, but I think Sundowns needed to win the game. They had to win the game, I think, because of what they are going through as a team. I looked at the table from last season compared to what they are doing now. The difference between the performances of last season's Mamelodi Sundowns, last season's alone, the 2024-2025 season compared to the 2025-2026 season, you can see the gap between the two teams. I spoke about the vulnerability of Mamelodi Sundowns in the previous video, the first video that I did for the year. I said what I enjoy a lot as a fan or as a rival fan about Sundowns now is that they do look vulnerable. They don't look as potent as they used to in the past couple of seasons. Case in point, compare this season and last season in terms of points dropped in the league alone. Last season, they only dropped 11 points out of the 28 games. Remember, last season, only 28 games were recorded because of what happened with the, Royal AM. So this season alone, having played 15 games, they've already dropped 15 points. With, I think I need to look at my stats again. Yeah, having drawn 5 games and lost 1. If you lose 1 game, you drop 3 points. If you draw 5 games, you drop 10 points because you only earn 1 point out of 3. So 10 plus 10 plus 3, that's 13, not 15. So they've already dropped 13 points as compared to last season when they only dropped 11 points. So, and the season is only halfway through. So you can only imagine the gap that would be, even if they continue to win all their games right this season, they won't be the same as the past season. But you still have Orlando Pirates right breathing on the neck of Mamelodi Sundowns, but also Pirates that is not so consistent. They were consistent just before AFCON, but coming back from AFCON, we saw they dropped points against Sekhukhune United. There's also Kaizer Chiefs, which can be spoken of, which is not too far off as they were in the previous season. So I guess you would understand why there would be tension between, there would be high expectations from the Mamelodi Sundowns fans, but we don't really condone some of the scenes that we saw in the past. But that's not the purpose of today's video. I'm just saying that you can see that the relief from the face of Cardoso after they won the game, because a draw would have really invited unnecessary pressure for him. But they're still not out of the woods yet, because if Pirates were to win their games, they'll still top the league. They'll still top the league, because they are now on 29 with just one. They are 2 points. 2 points. I mean, 2 games. They have 2 games in hand. So yeah, but we've seen with the game they played, Orlando Pirates against Sekhukhune United, that points in the bag are better than games in hand, because you could easily lose those games in hand and it's over. So yeah, I'd rather have the points than the games in hand. Otherwise, like I did say, I'm really enjoying this vulnerable Mamelodi Sundowns. They won today. A big sucker punch to Sekhukhune United, who defended so well today. I have to give them credit for the good defense that they put in. And for a team that was playing at home, unfortunately, sometimes we expect them to, to try and attack. But, you're not playing any other team. You're playing against the consecutive 9 times champions. So it's not going to be easy to just try and attack them. They barely troubled Mamelodi Sundowns, let's be honest. I think their job was to absorb the pressure today, and there was pressure coming from Sundowns. But at the end of the day, it wasn't to be for Sekhukhune. I guess they had already counted it, just like I was supporting them today. I had already counted that as a I'm trying to look at the stats here. Yeah. Ball position, Mamelodi Sundowns, as they doing the usual with 73% of the ball position, creating 5 chances as opposed to Sekhukhune 0 chances. Shorted goals 19. Wow, that's the difference between the two. It's chalk and cheese indeed. 19 shorted goal by Mamelodi Sundowns and only 1 shorted goal by Sekhukhune United. Saves, the Sundowns goalkeeper made 0 saves. 7 saves by Sekhukhune United goalkeeper Ronaldo Lina. He did put a decent shift, but unfortunately he was facing a very difficult task there. Yeah, man, it was just the Sundowns show at the end of the day. It would have been said for Sundowns not to get a victory, not to get maximum points from the game, especially given dominating all these stats and only to end up drawing the game. So they deserve to win. The best team, the team that deserved to win, did win the game at the end of the day. Yeah, it hurts for those of us who support other teams, especially the rival teams other than Sundowns, because we still consider ourselves to be up there, challenging, even though we're not really challenging, but just to have our name mentioned amongst the teams that are contending there, it feels nice. It feels very good. But realistically, let's be honest, I think this is between Mamelodi Sundowns and Orlando Pirates. Okay. Otherwise, thank you for your time. This has been Fans Corner. We meet again in the next one.